Welcome to episode 164 of Vegas Revealed. A matinee Magic Mike live show is coming your way. We've got the all-new details.
Ooh, I like that. And the MSG Sphere opens this fall, and the company announces its first immersive experience. In fact, tickets are already on sale. We explain what it's all about.
Southern Nevada's visitor spending reaches a record-breaking number in 2022. We reveal what's behind this cash influx.
And Katy Perry announces more shows, but final shows, when you still have the chance to see her at Resorts World.
There's also a long list of new shows and events coming to town.
And Sean dines in the dark. All that coming up this week on Vegas Revealed.
Did you know that Las Vegas visitors can walk up to 8 miles per day? And you know what? A lot of that is because people just don't know where they're going. Always know where you are and where you're going with the Vegas Near Me app, available now in the Google Play and Apple stores.
If you have a hard time finding your way around resorts, don't worry about that either. You can find maps of the property within the app. Also, find out how much they charge for parking so you can plan ahead. Even book an Uber within the app.
Think of Vegas Near Me as a concierge right in your pocket. You'll find more than 16,000 Las Vegas businesses and activities there. Plus, there's tons of detailed information, and it's accurate and up to date.
Use our Vegas Revealed link that we provide in our show notes and download it to your phone now. Instead of reviews, Vegas Near Me has compiled thousands of Las Vegas-related YouTube channels and podcasts just like Vegas Revealed so that you can hear about and see real-life experiences at the places you're searching. You watch it all and listen inside the app.
If it's fun to do or see, it's on Vegas Near Me.
Let's get to it now and spin that wheel.
Welcome to Vegas Revealed, episode 164. Sean McAllister here, along with Dana Roselli. And, we keep talking about the money that people are spending here in Las Vegas. And it's reached a record high. We're going to get into all those facts and figures coming up. But it's just insane, isn't it?
It is. And people always tell us after we do podcasts with a little kind of some statistics thrown in there that they find it really interesting. We try and really condense it, just give you the nuggets. But so we want to tell people about this one because we both looked and went, really? Wow. I mean, we knew Vegas was doing well, but so we're going to dive into all that in just a little bit. But yeah, like you said, I don't want to say it's surprising, but kind of surprising.
Well, and we keep seeing new resorts adding parking fees. And I saw a conversation online about that. And someone chimed in and said, you know what? Yes, these places are imposing parking fees, but people are still coming to Vegas. People are still paying not only the parking fees, but higher prices for hotels and meals and experiences. So,
I mean, the Strat is charging for parking now, and I'm not trying to...
Another one bites the dust.
...dig on the Strat or anything, but it is a little bit north of, it's the northern end of the Strip, and to get people there, you'd think that you would just keep the parking free.
Right.
To get them in and out. I know they're opening that entertainment golf complex, and I wonder if the parking has to do with that, if they need to use that garage, and they really just want to keep it to people who are going to visit the hotel or visit the golf attraction. I don't know. But yeah, the Strat is charging. And then we're hearing that possibly the Palazzo Venetian. And that might be due to, but you're right, people are going to do it. And that might be due to the Sphere that is being built next door and is going to open in the fall. So we got a little bit of time yet, but the fall will be here before we know it.
Right. And for people who are unfamiliar where the Sphere sits, it's kind of tucked back behind the Venetian and Palazzo. So the Venetian and Palazzo is going to be your entry point to get over to the Sphere for any concerts or shows that might be displayed there. And actually, that's one of the things we have brand new information on this week, Dana.
We do. And we're going to talk about that. I was going to tell you real quick, though. A listener and an acquaintance of mine said, hey, look at this picture that someone sent me, and it was the sphere lit up because they've been doing testing.
Okay.
And they said, this is fake, right? And then I took a little clip from when I was on the Morning Blend and we showed a live picture. And I'm like, nope, this is it. So it's interesting that people still outside of Las Vegas don't believe it's happening, don't know that much about it.
Right.
And feel like there's no way there's this huge, enormous globe that has screens around the whole thing and is going to change colors and have images on it. But yes, it is. So I sent him that, and now he believes me. So, but yes, the MSG Sphere, they announced some information. Now, we had talked a while back telling you that it was going to be used year-round. One of our sources that is over there told us this is going to be used year-round. We were like, how? Because we figured there'd be shows in there, conventions, people would come and go. But how would it be used year-round? And now we kind of understand why. They announced this new immersive experience. And it sounds like this is the first one and it's going to keep changing. But there are tickets on sale, and the tickets are on sale already. And it's called Sphere Experiences. They're launching this first of its kind immersive production, the first one called Postcard from Earth.
And this is the first piece of content that we're hearing about that's coming out of the Sphere Studios, which are based in Burbank, California, with all the other major movie studios. And there are even reports that this first production has at least some sort of attachment with filmmaker Darren Aronofsky, who is well known in the Hollywood filmmaking world. So to have that level of experience and that caliber of filmmaker to be producing this really first of its kind and unique content, because there is no other sphere like this anywhere on Earth.
I know. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, it says it's going to utilize the full breadth of the venue's 22nd century technologies. So it looks like everything's going to be jam-packed into Postcard from Earth, which is going to be probably incredible to see. Tickets, actually, we're recording this on a Wednesday. Tickets just went on sale this morning. And, when we were talking about it being used year-round, the source we were chatting with was like, the Sphere is going to be a destination spot. And we were like, well, I don't get it. But now it all makes sense. It's something that people would actually travel here because they want to go see one of these immersive experiences. Productions, I should say. They're calling it immersive production.
Right. And I feel like it's back when movie theaters first came out, like the silent film era. I feel like it's similar to that, where the only place people could go to see these silent films was to a nearby theater.
Yeah.
Well, there isn't going to be a nearby theater showing what they're producing for the Sphere. The only way to see it is to come to the Sphere here in Las Vegas.
I know. It's going to be so cool. I can't wait. I love that they're unveiling a little bit more each time. It's just really exciting. Ran into one of the leaders over there at an event recently, and he said there's so much more to come. So we look forward to that. If you do want to check it out or you do want to get tickets, it's thespherevegas.com is the website, thespherevegas.com.
All right, let's get into the numbers that we talked about at the beginning of the episode, Dana. The economic impact of Southern Nevada's tourism industry. We just got some new facts and figures out. And I mean, the dollar amounts are staggering. And they not only broke previous records, they obliterated them.
I know, such a big percentage, right? Here's the first nugget. The total economic output related to visitor spending reached a record $79.3 billion in 2022. Jeez. This is a 24.7% increase from the previous record that was set in 2019, so before the pandemic. So that, you're right, 24.7% of an increase over that, and it's hard because it's kind of like you hop from 2019 to 2022 because in between it was where we were, struggling. The whole world was struggling with tourism and everything. And the rebound, they say, was driven by pent-up travel demand and the addition of our new resorts, are professional sporting events and venues such as Allegiant Stadium.
Listen, I'll take that. And we knew as these, obviously when resorts are being built, the goal is to bring people in from everywhere to stay at them. But, the same effect was anticipated for professional sports. And to see that paying off and actually happening is a great thing.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the total economic impact of tourism, and that takes everything into account, from people stopping to get gas, all the related things that a tourist might come in contact with that generates money. But talking about individual visitors and how much they are spending, the per visitor spend on a trip to Vegas has increased to $1,156. That is per person who comes here.
Wow. Yeah, that's a lot.
Like overall, that amounts to just under $45 billion collectively. And again, that's, almost a 25% increase from 2019, the last kind of normal year that we had.
Right. And another nugget is that our tourism industry obviously remained the largest regional employer in 2022. Employing an estimated 229,440 workers. That really was interesting to me because we've been talking a lot about Mark Wahlberg, who moved here, but in one of his recent interviews, he said, Nevada is based on tourism, gaming, resorts and hotels. And when he talks about, building a huge Hollywood type studio here, he was saying that he hopes that, Las Vegas and Southern Nevada and Nevada as a whole can add more industries to our list of things that we have, because tourism is our main thing. And it just proves it right there.
Yeah. And in addition to the movie studio, he wants to build that factory to make shoes for his municipal lifestyle brand. Which, so he may diversify our economy. He may be the single guy who does it.
I know. Yeah, some really interesting numbers. And when we talk about the sporting events and venues, such as Allegiant Stadium, because Allegiant Stadium has concerts too, I think back to that weekend when Taylor Swift was here for 2 nights, and we had March Madness basketball, right, at T-Mobile, and how packed it was that weekend in Las Vegas. And I have a friend who does some waitressing at a popular place in Las Vegas, and she was saying the next weekend was just dead.
Really?
Like the difference between the one weekend and the other weekend. So when we don't have these big events happening at these places like T-Mobile and Allegiant Stadium, or there's not a big convention in town.
Right.
It slows down right away. I mean, we're usually busy all the time. It's pretty rare to be kind of slow, but every now and then we get that little slow weekend or slow week. And it was just like, comparing just one way, a complete difference basically from one weekend to the next. So I thought that was interesting.
That's true. And, I come to think of it now that when I look at our, social media feeds and friends who work for, all the places down on the strip. You can usually tell it's a slow weekend when they are off vacationing somewhere else.
True. They probably plan around,
Because otherwise they have to work all these big events that are happening.
Take advantage. Some interesting numbers out there. We love that everyone's coming here and spending money. We'll take it. We live here. It's great for our economy. And I'm so glad that Las Vegas really bounced back. We say that all the time, but thank you.
Well, and I think something to also keep in mind when we're talking about these numbers is something that we reported on when the visitor profile came out, the types of people that are coming here, the satisfaction of people's visit is extremely high. So people are spending the money, but they're happy with what they're getting.
Yeah. That's everything, right? Because then it means they return.
Yep.
And so the return business is, word of mouth and all that is, you can't ask for anything better. It's like gold. So, hey, if you return sometime before November, you can see Katy Perry's show at Resorts World. But after November 4th, we're not going to be able to see it anymore.
Yeah, Katy just announced her final run of shows over at the Resorts World Theater, obviously at Resorts World. Katy Perry Play, such a fun show.
It is.
Such a great production. But yeah, she just announced the final dates. She's going to have some shows in May and August, then again coming up in the fall, October and early November. But November 4, that's it. Last show. Katie's saying bye-bye, at least with this production.
Yeah, so we'll see. But I like that she announced it this early so people know, like, I need to get there.
Yes.
Because sometimes people will announce it and they'll be like, oh, I have one more week. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, wait,
right.
So now we know. And if for those folks who have been wanting to see it and haven't had the chance, it's literally larger than life, the show.
It is.
And yeah, I mean, you go and it's just like we said it with Maroon 5. It's hit after hit after hit. You don't even realize how many hits Katy Perry has. You're going to know the words to every song. They're radio hits. And when the radio hits, they're hits that you know and are familiar with, and you just can't help but have a good time.
Well, and they're the kinds of songs that like subconsciously run through your head. Like you may not even think that you know the words, but when it's playing, you're like, oh, I know every single lyric to this.
Right. And talk about a show. This is a show.
Oh my God.
I mean, toys come to everything. It's a show. If you want to see this is not a Katy Perry concert.
No.
This is a Katy Perry show.
It reminds me, now that you say that, it reminds me of Elton John's first show over at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace, when there were like those giant inflatable things that would fill up and like take over the stage. It's like, what's going on here? And it's the same kind of thing with Katy Perry.
I know. Yeah, if you haven't had the chance, go see it. Sean and I keep saying we need to get back one more time too before it closes. That's for sure. And we'll see what Katy Perry has in store for Vegas again. I have a feeling she'll be back.
I have a feeling, yeah, that relationship will stick around. Hopefully it will. Some other music notes to bring you up to speed on. Rock star and activist Melissa Etheridge has announced that she's going to be hitting the road once again for her 44-date North American tour, stopping here in Las Vegas at the Pearl Concert Theater over at the Palms. That show is set for Friday, July 7th.
Great. And then Gladys Knight is going to perform her many hits, spanning, she's got so many, you name it, pop, R&B, gospel, adult contemporary. She's going to be over at the Smith Center here in town, which is awesome. She's going to do a show on August 18th. Tickets on sale now for that. It's thesmithcenter.com. Gladys is amazing. You and I have talked about this before. I've interviewed her once, and it was one of my favorite interviews I've ever done. Such an interesting, successful career she had. She's still bringing it, and she's going to do this show over at the Smith Center.
I might need to grab myself tickets for this one.
Yeah.
I need to go and see Gladys perform. I've never seen her. Like you said, I've sat down, interviewed her, but I've never gone to see one of her performances.
Yeah.
And this is one that I want to make sure to get to.
She's good. She was at something. I went to see Matt Goss in England. He did this thing it's called Proms in the Park. I think it's put on by BBC. And it's at, how could I forget the name of this park? It's where the Stones, it's a very...
Hyde Park?
Hyde Park. It was Hyde Park. Everyone in the UK is cringing right now. Like, Roselli, how could you not know Hyde Park? But anyway, we all went to support Matt. He was he was one of the acts for this, and Gladys was one of the acts, and she put on such a show. Everyone loved it, and again, all her songs. So I was honored to be able to see her there at Hyde Park, and she was great.
Oh, looking forward to that. Well, August 18th, I am occupied in the evening going to see Gladys Knight.
Hey, House of Cheer is coming to the theater at Virgin Hotels. I put this on our list because I thought so many people, more and more I'm hearing, is like competitive cheer is so huge.
It's massive.
Yeah, it is, right? All my friends' kids are in competitive cheer. One of my best friends from New York, his mother owns a competitive cheer gym in New Jersey. It's huge. So the Team USA cheerleading, you know the show Cheer. It was very popular the first time it came out on Netflix, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a pandemic binge for people.
Yeah, and there's been other ones since. I tried to watch the second series and I didn't. But anyway, top athletes from this award-winning docuseries, Cheer, are going to be putting on a one-night-only showcase at the theater at Virgin. I think a lot of people are going to want to see this. So it sounds really good. Tickets are on sale now. They went on sale Friday at axs.com if you want to go check them out at the Virgin Hotel.
And we have some news from Chippendales. We have a guest host returning to the stage there, straight from the Jersey Shore.
I mean, I feel like Vinny, how many times have we said this? Vinny's returning again.
Vinny's back.
He loves it. He loves hosting Chippendales. I wonder if it helps him keep up. Like, he has something that he has to look good for. So it keeps him energized to know, like, I got to get ready. Keeps me motivated, keeps my body intact,
Just the fear of stepping on stage and being all soft and mushy.
Well, he is the Keto Guido. Vinny, how do you say, is it Guadino?
Guadino. Gaudino.
Vinny G is coming back to Chippendales, and everyone loves the Jersey Shore. It is on all the time. Vinny's a huge, huge part of that show, and he's fantastic as the host of Chippendales. He joins a lot of the numbers. If you want to check out Vinny shirtless, and I think I have a shot of when he's just in like a little towel on our social media, go to Vegas Revealed. It's one of our highest numbered TikToks. He's coming back, though, August 31st through October 8th. You have time. But ladies, men, whoever, groups, plan your trip out during that time period if you want to see Vinny and Chippendales over at the Rio.
And if you have been listening to Vegas Revealed for the past several episodes, you know that at one point Dana broke news about something happening over at the Westgate. She saw all this stuff happening in the parking lot, all these like mushroom kinds of things, just weird stuff you wouldn't expect to be sitting outside of a casino.
Yeah. And everyone was like messaging, like, what is that? And I have people texting me, like, because they know I live near. They're like, what's that? Do you know? And I have the answer all the time. And everyone's always like, I knew you'd know. It's called Imaginarium. We didn't know the dates that it was going to kick off, but now we have the official dates for that. It's an all-ages outdoor immersive 3D light festival. It's going to be here for a limited period. It starts on April 28th, and it's going to run through May 7th. And it's over in that north parking lot of the Westgate. So it's spread out. I've been watching them put this together. And it looks like it'll be really cool. And it's very family friendly as well. There'll be a lot of, again, the immersive thing is huge, like different 3D displays. 5 million colorful lights across 5 acres, all these different experiences. So if you want to check that out, do it. I believe the tickets aren't too expensive. I want to say they were like $21, something like that. Don't quote me on that. But it looks like it could be fun.
Yeah, there's 8 different fantasy attraction zones that they're building, and they say that, clearly everything is going to be larger than life over there. Hands-on games. There's going to be creatures that are like straight out of a storybook.
Oh, I see
that
them.
You'll encounter.
Yeah. I see them over there.
Oh, you already know what these creatures are?
I already know what the creatures are.
Ooh.
But I haven't seen them lit up.
Okay.
But I'm excited for it to be lit up
at
night.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to add to my ambiance around my balcony.
You'll have music from the festival grounds.
Yes.
You'll have the lights from Imaginarium.
So true. It's like the Lovers and Friends Festival. Am I going to hear Mariah Carey and then the lights from the Imaginarium? It's going to be a vibe on my patio.
You're going to need to sell tickets to your balcony.
We need to have a party for sure. Definitely a champagne patio night or something. What do we call it? The Vegas Revealed Sky Deck.
Sky Deck.
I love it. All right. Well, I just wanted to quickly mention that I went over to Red Rock, Naxos Taverna, a new restaurant there, invited me for dinner. Me and my friend Melissa went over there, had a fabulous dinner. You know what I loved? First of all, I just wanted to comment that the restaurant was packed on a weekday.
Wow.
And I was happy to see that. I had a feeling, I think I told you I went to the media night, and the staff was great and the food was really good that they had out. They had like more samples. So we actually went for a dinner, but here's a couple of my takeaways. And it's funny because the woman, I think she was a manager, came out and asked me. So I'm going to be honest. There was a pasta with crab, absolutely delicious. But the pasta, it was like a spaghetti-ish. It was black.
Oh.
And I told her, as an Italian, it's really hard for me to eat black spaghetti. It just didn't feel, and she was like, she took the note and she's like, but it's so good. I'm like, no, listen, it's delicious. That was my only negative of the entire dinner. And it wasn't even a negative overall. It was me personally.
Did it look unappealing in the presentation? Like, was that part of the thing?
I don't know. It was like a thing in my head. It just looked,
or was the black pasta like a part of the presentation?
What was the main? No, it was the black pasta and then the crab mixed in and on top.
Okay, so there's like a white lump of crab on top that
and then
really
like a red sauce
sets it off. Yeah.
Yeah. The crab was delicious. I mean, and the pasta was fine. Tasted great. I don't know. It was just one of my little things, but I talked to her about it. So I wanted to be honest. And I said, this is just my one little negative takeaway. So we had a good conversation about that. And she laughed. She was like, I see what you mean, blah, blah, blah. But listen here's another amazing takeaway in a positive light. The chicken. And she was even saying people don't usually order chicken when you go to a restaurant because you feel like, I have a lot of chicken at home, right? This chicken was the juiciest chicken I've ever had. Best tasting chicken I've ever had. It was delicious.
Really?
Yes. So, and I know they're known for a lot of their fish. So we had an amazing, it was like a shrimp. I'm terrible at describing food. I am not like a foodie in that way. But we had this amazing shrimp. The starter, the pita, and the hummus was absolutely delicious. I had this tomato and beet salad that was great. Everything was great. The presentation was great. And again, I will note the staff is just friendly and nice and helpful. And it's a great restaurant. I really, really enjoyed it.
I love that. So Nexos Taverna over at Red Rock Resort.
Yeah. All right, let's do some tips.
Dana, we already talked about Chippendales, so why not throw some Magic Mike news in, too?
I know. They put out a little release, and my eyes popped open because I went, anything at 5 p.m., I'm game. As I get older.
That means you can still be in bed by 9:30.
Magic Mike Live at the Sahara is expanding its performance schedule with an added 5 p.m. show. Who doesn't love a good male review matinee?
The early bird special.
And the performances are going to be on select Saturdays now through June, so you have time. And so that's kind of fun. The show's also going to debut this Wild Weeknights on April 19th. So from then, every Wednesday and Thursday night, they're going to serve up these special surprises before the show. So it's chances to receive a complimentary meet and greet, some resort giveaways. So they're doing kind of a whole experience before the actual show. So I love that. Tickets are available for Magic Mike Live at magicmikelivelasvegas.com. But yeah, a 5 p.m.er.
I mean, you can't beat that. You can even do dinner after the show.
Can I bring my iced coffee in there and sip on it?
You should.
My afternoon coffee.
Maybe they can open a coffee bar, especially for the early evening show.
But listen, sometimes people want to go to a show at 5 p.m. and they want to do a big dinner after.
True.
I mean, I think this is going to do well. I'm really curious to see how it goes.
Yeah, me too.
But good for you.
Listen, they have the demand where they need to open up more showtimes, so
it's true. When I was looking at the full schedule. Again, don't quote me on this, but I think I'm right. Some nights they have a 5 p.m., 7:30, and a 10 show.
Wow.
There must be demand. You don't do that if there's not a demand.
No way.
So, yeah, 3 show times in one night. Pretty incredible.
Wow, well done, Magic Mike.
Yeah.
Hey, I had a very interesting dining experience recently that I wanted to share. It's called Blackout Dining in the Dark. And this is a concept that's been here in Las Vegas for several years now, but I've just never gone over to try it out.
I drive by all the time. I've always wondered. I mean, and I'm thinking, But I loved what you described to me. So yeah, describe it for the listeners because this was really interesting.
So Dining in the Dark is located kind of just behind the Rio on Valley View. And this is exactly what you would expect it to be. You are dining in a pitch black restaurant.
So I was asking you, like, what's the point? And then you explained, I'm like, okay, this makes sense.
So the point of this whole thing is to open up your other senses, Like, no phones are allowed. There's lockers before you even go in where you lock up your phone so no light can get in there. The servers, by the way, are all wearing night vision goggles so that they can make their way around and serve you. But that's the whole idea, is if your vision is taken away from you, then the theory while you're eating the meal is that it livens the other senses. Your hearing, which I think my hearing was on high alert. Obviously taste, smell, touch. You have to use touch quite a bit because that's what you're relying on to know where your silverware is, where your drink is, how to eat out of a bowl.
And you said you didn't know what you were eating. So they don't tell you, like, we're bringing out this is the next course.
No, they have a set menu, which changes twice a year. And I believe it's about to change again in July, coming up this summer. But no, you don't know what you're eating. So that's part of the fun, too, is trying to figure out with every bite, like, what is that crunch coming from? Did you get that, like, saltiness? It really is interesting. We guessed about nothing correctly.
Really?
Yeah, you do at the very end of your experience, they do let you look at the menu to see what you were eating, and no clue on a lot of it.
Interesting.
It was really good, though.
See, that would have worked well for the black pasta. If I was eating it in the dark, I would have never known, and it would have been delicious.
It may have changed your whole experience.
And it was delicious, but yeah, like I was saying, it was just looking at it. Yeah, that's so interesting. And so is it prepaid, you said?
Yeah, it's prepaid. It's $85 per person, which may sound steep, but it is an entire experience, and you get a 7-course meal. Mm-hmm. I mean, we did not leave hungry at all. I was very pleased with the size of the portions and all of that.
You know what I was just thinking? This could be a great, the show Love is Blind.
Yes.
Where you can't see each other, but you talk and you get to know each other.
Right.
So what if you were going on a first date and you said, I will meet you in there, and you had dinner at Blackout Dining and had a meal together and talked, but you don't see each other until you leave?
Listen, I think that's a great idea. You would both need to be very open and adventurous and willing to be able to pull something like that off successfully.
Right. I don't know. I was like, that could be one of our, maybe we need to do like a Vegas TV show on that.
I'd have friends staked out in the parking lot sending me pictures of everybody that walked in.
Could be that one. Could be that. Ooh, you better hope it's that one.
No, that's a great idea though. And, I didn't realize how much of a conversation piece, like visual cues are for me. Mm-hmm. Like just how much conversation I make based off of things that I'm seeing.
Interesting.
And it was just a total, I didn't get totally acclimated in there. I was looking around trying to see if I could get my bearings because I could hear this room full of people. Wow. And it sounded like people were right behind me, which they probably were. But you do pick up on other people's conversation a lot more too.
Interesting.
When that's what you're focusing on.
So don't gossip about other people in there.
Don't gossip. No. You never know who's sitting behind you.
This whole thing is amazing to me. I think this is an incredible tip. It's 3871 South Valley View Boulevard. DineBlackout.com. Closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Sean, I love this. What a great tip.
Yeah, it was really fun. I recommend the experience.
All right. Hey, listen, that's it for us this week. We've got a lot to do, so we're going to head out quickly. Don't mean to talk and run, but gotta go. And we'll see you next week for episode, what are we on? 165.
165 coming up next week. And thank you to Vegas Near Me. You can download the app in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. It is the perfect companion for your Vegas visit. We'll see you next week.